Hey, I'm Habitor.
Give me a sec.
This is BEELINEDSIDED. It was built by myself and Omniparker.
Hi everyone, I'm Omniparker. I'm one of the creators of BEELINEDSIDED, the world that wound up taking first place in the Spring Jam 2022 competition. As far as the inspiration behind this world, it actually wasn't even something we planned on doing for Spring Jam. One of the updates came out, and the update was who can see an object. And around a Tuesday at midnight after that update, Habitor wound up reaching out to me and asking me if I just wanted to play with the code block with him, because he had this basic idea of having blocks come at people and they have to jump out of the way, but they can't see them. And we sat down, and within an hour we had almost an operational thing, and we started to actually play with like an idea of how we wanted it set up. And as we were doing it, I was like, if we put a little spring theme to this, we could actually submit this to the competition.
At about like 11:30 that night, I called up Omni and I said, hey, like, are you free? I kind of want to play around with this idea. So we got together. In an hour, we had gotten the basic script down for the game. And then we wound up staying up until about like 5 o'clock in the morning. Built out 90%, of kind of like the framework of the hive. And we spent the next week getting like all like kind of like the nitty gritty done. We released, we published after a week, did a few little bug fixes before, before the deadline, and then that was that. So we really, while we were building, we kind of had these core values that every time we had a design decision to make, it was very much, when we had a disagreement, it wasn't necessarily like, oh, my way is better than your way. It was, I think that this fits our value better. And so our core values were, does it encourage cooperation? It's a competitive game, but we want to incentivize people to work together. You score more points, the more bees are left in the game. So the more helpful you are to your friends, the faster you're going to score points, because the difficulty scales at the same rate, no matter how many bees are in the game.
It organically grew from there. When I would come up with one idea, Habitor would go, I love that idea, and then build upon that. And one thing just led to another. And throughout the entire thing, I honestly think it was Habitor's love of puns that really cemented this world into what it was. Because everything we did, he wanted it to be some sort of pun.
I kind of laugh about it because, I get all the feedback and all the posts on the world page, and it's just, 90% of them are just people taking the selfies like, I'm a bee, or beautiful. And it's just a ton of bee puns, and, it always kind of makes me happy to see that, because that's kind of what we were doing while we were building it.
And we just thought about, like, what would we want? What would be a good payoff? What would be a good way to allow people to work together and have more of a cooperative game than a competitive game? And that led to things like, if one person plays this enough and comes in with a brand new person, if they want to see what the ultimate goal is and get up to the queen, we made it a way so that the person who has access can grant access to their friends. So nobody ever gets left behind in here.
And that's kind of what we wanted. We wanted people to have a place where they could go and explore, and the mini games here to play, but we wanted it, we had enough capacity that we could just say, okay, like, maybe you don't want to play, maybe you want to explore the hive, maybe you want to just chill out, and there's ways to do that. We have these little areas that are tucked away that are like a little more private, so that you're not always surrounded by a million other bees, but then you can also go up to the hive, and like you said, like, it was packed in there. So we've really been getting kind of a very positive reaction from people, and I think that it's kind of a very lighthearted, kind of friendly atmosphere. And that's what we wanted. We wanted an atmosphere where everyone felt like they could just hang out and have fun and be a bee.
So the Spring Jam 2022 competition, to me, when it first launched, was just something to be able to get my name out there. It was something to push me a little bit further in my development, because I like pushing myself and trying to come up with new things, and seeing like a code block and thinking, I could take this code block and I can try and do this. And the competition was a challenge for me on a personal level. It wasn't about anybody else. It was, what can I come up with that's different from anything I've done before?
You know, like, so last week we saw, you know, I got that letter in the mail and it said first place, and I kind of did a double take and I was like, no way. Because we've been avoiding Blindsided for like a month, because like once it's submitted, we're sitting here, we're like, you know, we don't want to go look at it because there's things like every time we look at it, we're like, oh, we want to fix that. Oh, we want to change that. So we were going around looking at everybody else's worlds and, you know, everything that everyone else had built. And it's all like so incredible. You know, there were, you know, Bouncing Bunnies by Up Too Late and Pigeon is so much fun, and they have like a really, really cool hangout space. And Endless Valley by Miles is, I mean, that's top 3 of my favorite games in Horizon, period. So you know, you see the competition like that and you're like, okay, you start to temper your expectations a bit. But you know, we got that first place, and we feel really proud of what we accomplished. The Horizon World Spring Jam competition, to me, and I think for the community, and not just this competition, but future competitions too, it is a way of not just recognizing, but legitimizing, you know, people's talents and saying, hey, you're good at this.
That just fell right in line with why I wanted to do the Spring Jam competition. The fact that I've won the Spring Jam competition took a whole new meaning for me, because now my name is out there. I'm one of 3 people that can say they took a first place competition. They're a first place competition winner for Horizon World. I couldn't have asked for somebody better to have collaborated with on something like this. It was probably one of the smoothest relationships that I've had in a very long time to try and get all of this coordinated and put together.
Yeah, so if you want to follow more of what I'm doing and more of what Omni's doing, you can check me out at Habitor VR. But follow me, follow Omni. You know, you can always check out our hub worlds. You can just search our names, we'll pop right up.
Finding me on socials is easy. I am Omniparker on everything, and I am not a hotel. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and Twitch.
And if you want to check out more amazing spring worlds, check out Super's YouTube channel. I super appreciate him being here. And thanks for checking out BEELINEDSIDED. See you here.
If you want to find out anything about any other great, wonderful creators in here, check out Super's YouTube channel. I'm Omniparker. This has been Beeline by Habitor and myself, and I hope you have a great day.